Hello there! In the future world, the mechanisms of aging are thoroughly researched, and in the fashion of reality TV, society is watching the last days of the last old man destined to die. Although his body may take its last breath any minute now, the mysterious Mr. Nobody begins his fascinating tale. Living creatures connect the events around them to their actions. A pigeon that does not understand that food is automatically poured into its cage every 20 seconds will try to flap its wings to speed up the process, relying on its pigeon superstition. Can a human being recognize and break this vicious bond? How can one make the right choice when life is so short and we can never predict the consequences of our actions? A man experiences several different deaths one after the other, in a sinking car after an accident, from a killer's bullet, and from the depressurization of a space station. The year is 2092. Nemo Nobody is a decrepit old man who is 114 years old. He, however, thinks he is only 34, and once he sees himself in the mirror, he screams that he must wake up from this nightmare. The hero wakes up, and he is really 34. He picks up his kids from school, but suddenly calls them by someone else's name. He wakes up again, but in a different place with a different family. The old man seems to fall into the depths of his memories and again confuses reality with fantasy. While he sleeps, medics monitor his vital signs, and his entire life is broadcast as a reality show. After all, Mr. Nobody is the last person destined to die of old age. He escaped the fate of telomerization, a technology of endless cell renewal that completely stops the aging of Earth's inhabitants of the future. But the most important mystery is Nemo's biography. Nothing is known about his past.
Remember the day you came here.
The doctor hypnotizes the old man so he recalls not only his childhood, but even something before he was born. As described in legends, human souls live in paradise and know everything about both their past and future lives.
When it's your turn, the angels of oblivion place the finger on your mouth. Shh.
But it was Nemo that the angels missed. He didn't forget anything. He chose his parents himself. Mom smelled nice, and Dad said,
"Well, I can tell you how we met. Have you heard of the butterfly effect? It was meant to be."
His carefree childhood and first discoveries happen with them. He asks his first difficult questions, which even his parents cannot answer. The boy's father is a meteorologist who predicts that rain is not expected and recommends that the viewers have a picnic. A heavy downpour begins. A journalist sneaks into the old man's room illegally. He has an old tape recorder with him on which he records his interview with Nemo. He asks him about his life before immortality. People drank and smoked, ate meat, and fell in love.
We did everything we can do in this dump, and it was wonderful.
Another character, the young Professor Nemo, discusses the nature of time and space. The universe began with the Big Bang. The expansion of the universe is not infinite though, and after the Big Bang there will be a big crunch. Time will go backwards. However, for humans, the choices once made in life cannot be reversed, and as long as the flipped coin does not fall on one of its sides, anything is possible. But Nemo seems to have lived 3 destinies at the same time with 3 different lovers, girls who live next door. He falls in love with Anna, who dives from the tower and swims gracefully in the pool. Nemo can't swim yet, but fascinated by what he sees, he too jumps off the tower and drowns. His trainer pulls him out. Different episodes overlap in his memory, and it is impossible to unravel which of them is real. Did Nemo drown or stay alive? Did he marry one or the other? In one of these episodes, Nemo catches his mother cheating with Anna's father. After this, the parents divorce. Mother prepares to board the train.
So, Nemo, have you made up your mind? Do you want to come with me?
Nemo finds himself faced with a fateful decision, and again sees 2 options. In one, he catches up with the departing train, and in the other, he is distracted by his father's call, and doesn't make it in time, and stays with him. Left with his mother, grown-up Nemo does not feel happy. The gloomy teenager draws attention to himself by trying to intimidate and blackmail his mother. He thinks he can predict the future, and scares away the men she likes. A new girl, Anna, the same neighbor from his childhood, shows up in class. Once again, he is at a crossroads of fate. Should he accept or reject the girl who pays him attention and invites him to swim together? Having been rude to her, he regrets for the rest of his life that he missed his chance. Nemo returns back in time and allows himself to show weakness. He admits to Anna that he cannot swim. They grow closer, and soon the teenager's parents begin to live together. They are now half brother and half sister. Old Nemo remembers it vividly, his consciousness shifting from his decrepit body to the past.
I'm 15. And I'm in love.
The first passionate love flares up between the teenagers, which they hide from their parents. And Nemo, the one who stayed with his father, faces the fate of a caregiver. His father is seriously ill and can't take care of himself. The teenager rides a motorcycle and writes books about space traveling. According to the plot, the hero flies to the Martian colonies in Anabiosis. Nemo attends a disco, where he is spotted by an upset Elise. The girl is rejected by another guy, and she drags Shy Nemo outside. He tells her about the red planet, and the girl asks him to raise his hand and swear.
Promise me that if I die, you'll spread my ashes on Mars.
Behaving impulsively, Elise says she's a bad person and runs away. The Nemo professor discusses what falling in love is. Is it genetics or a desire to repeat one's past experiences? Some are convinced that it's free choice, while others believe it is a destiny that there is no point to hide from. This turns out to be an excerpt from a sci-fi video recorded by Nemo, 34, who married Anna. He is driving home from work to his beloved family when a bird bumps into the windshield at high speed. The man fails to keep control and flies off the road into the river. His life is cut short so early. Where did he take the wrong turn? Love didn't save him from tragedy. He has to go back once again and make a different choice. The father no longer recognizes his son at all, and Nemo catches Elisa with her adult boyfriend Stefano. In desperation, Nemo speeds off on his motorcycle and crashes. He is in a coma. No, we have to go back again. The guy arrives at a different time and confesses his love to Elise. She says she loves Stefano and runs away. So be it. Nemo promises his father that he will marry the first girl who dances with him. Jean becomes that very girl. His feelings for Elise have not died down, but he tries to suppress them. Between his heart and his brain, he chooses the latter and sets goals for his life. Wife, children, wealth.
Swim. 6. I will not stop until I've succeeded.
Years later, Jean pulls the body of millionaire Nemo out of the pool. It looks like he left a note and tried to do something to himself.
I've controlled everything. I've done everything to reach this point, and now that I'm here...
Jean realizes that she means nothing to him, and her love for her husband is unrequited. And the Nemo who stayed with his mother goes through her breakup with another man. In shock, he learns that Anna's father is taking his daughter with him to New York in 10 days. She promises the boy that they will meet again. On the day of departure, Nemo runs out into the street and chases the car with his beloved, like he chased his mother's train once. But it's too late. She and her mother move out too. Anna writes him letters, but Nemo's mother throws them away. As he grows older, Nemo takes a job cleaning swimming pools. He and Anna live in the same town, but constantly pass by each other. Nemo, who has fallen off his motorcycle, finds meaning and continues to write the novel. His character comes out of Anabiosis. Mars is close. The guy feels the sun on his body. He smells perfume and remembers Elise. He heads back in time. Now the teenage Nemo doesn't back down and wins the girl over by finding the right words.
You're the one I love. You can count on me for Mars.
They have a wedding, but many years and 3 children later, the woman is unhappy. She has depression and won't get out of the bed. Nemo does all the chores around the house and doesn't understand what the problem is. By trying to support his wife, he only makes it worse. The eldest daughter's birthday comes around, and Elise tries to have fun like a child. The whole family falls asleep in her arms. She hasn't had a day this good in a long time. The Nemo and Anna, who were separated by their parents, are brought together by chance. Every day they fall in love just like the first time. Their happiness has no limits. But the girl doesn't want to rush things. Her fantasies and reality become one in an instant, and it drives her crazy.
I'm afraid of losing you again. I'm afraid of having to do without you again.
She writes her phone number on a piece of paper and asks him to call her in 2 days to set up a rendezvous at the lighthouse. As Nemo loses sight of the girl, a drop of rain falls on the paper, dissolving the ink. The lovers are destined to lose each other again. This can be explained scientifically though, by the very same butterfly effect. The jeans Nemo bought from one manufacturer causes another to go bankrupt. Its employees get fired, and one of them boils an egg on one side of the world, which causes it to rain on the other, right over Nemo's head. Or maybe it's just an old man's superstition. The hero waits by the lighthouse every day, but Anna does not appear. He sleeps right on the bench and draws a circle with chalk on the floor. He speaks to her in his thoughts, and she hears his call. Poor Elise has another breakdown. She never loved Nemo, and he only tried to keep her all this time. Nemo the professor tells us that baby geese instinctively duck their heads when a falcon or something that resembles it flies by, even though they've never seen one. This is an innate fear, stored in the bodies of living creatures, and is independent of circumstances. Nemo concludes that everything he takes on sooner or later leads to trouble. He meets his double, a homeless man. The people around him are wearing the same clothes. He follows the doppelganger to the bank, but ends up on the beach. His whole life is a set, and the sea is filled with blocks carried there by multiple helicopters, like a construction kit. Nemo also sees another branch of fate in which, immediately after the wedding, he and Elise are involved in a car accident. A gas line truck explodes right in front of them. He survives, but she does not. Nemo can't cope with the loss and, on his way home, talks to his wife as if she was alive. He has a studio in which he photographs decomposing fruit and mice, and then montages videos in which he reverses their decomposition and death. Life with a depressed Elise is unbearable. She manipulates and scolds Nemo for taking care of the car and not her. The man douses the car with kerosene and sets it on fire. Another jump in time and he's with Jean in the mansion. It's the other way around. The woman loves him while he's dead on the inside. He carves yes and no on a coin and abandons his past life. Every decision he leaves to chance. Coin directs Nemo to approach one of the greeters at the airport, posing as businessman Jones. This man has crossed someone's path, and instead of Jones, the hitmen mistakenly kill Nemo in a hotel bathroom. Such is the end of his life with Jean. And the Nemo who fell into a coma continues to write a space novel while his parents visit him. The hero arrives on Mars and scatters Elise's ashes. Depressed Elise finally admits to herself and Nemo that she still loves Stefano. She leaves, although Nemo says he cannot live without her. Elise works as a hairdresser, and an aging Stefano comes to her for a haircut. They do not recognize each other. The entropy theory claims that the universe tends to increase the amount of chaos, and once the world reaches a critical value, the physical force that holds reality and time together will cease to work in the way we are accustomed to. The Big Crunch will happen in the year 2092. The branches of fate intertwine with each other, and it's no longer distinguishable who is writing the story and who's the character in it. One Nemo drowns in his room, another drowns in his car, the third's heart stops in a coma, the fourth space station flies off into space from a meteorite impact, along with the futuristic Anna. The doctor demands that he wake up, and Nemo finds himself back in the strange reality where everyone is dressed in the same clothes. He finds his aging mother there, who does not recognize him. She has a different child. Nemo calls the number left by Anna. A doppelganger answers the call. He finds the address of the house he called. Inside, he discovers a disc with a video recording of an old man from the future talking to him.
Maybe you are one of the vast majority of those whose genetic code did not reach its final destination.
He explains that in this reality, Nemo does not exist at all. In it, his parents have never met. The old Nemo plans to live until 5 o'clock and 30 minutes in the morning of February 29th, year 2092. The day the journalist comes to see him, the old man has completely confused the reporter.
Of all those lives, which one is the right one?
Mr. Nobody informs him that both he and the journalist are only products of the imagination of a 9-year-old boy facing an impossible choice between his mother and his father. Young Nemo runs after the train and hears the cries of his parents, each calling out to him. The boy stops and steps onto the train tracks. In an instant, he sees all the choices of fate in front of him. The old man speaks in a boy's voice, informing us that there is a zugzwang situation in chess, where the only useful move is not to move. Suddenly the whole city is blown to pieces, and helicopters take away the ocean cubes. This fantasy world has served its purpose. The boy cannot choose between his mother and father, and runs away into the woods. He throws a maple leaf into the sky, the very butterfly effect that made his parents meet. Anna comes to the lighthouse and stands in the circle drawn by Nemo. He's been waiting for her. The lovers find each other again, despite fate's setbacks. The old man on his last breath says that this is the best day of his life. The clock counts down the last seconds until 5 hours and 50 minutes, the Big Crunch. Time stops and goes backwards, and life returns to the old man. With a smile on his face, he begins his journey back in time to see his beloved Anna again. As always, look for the movie title in the description of the video. In the meantime, let us know in the comments. Have you ever made any choices in life that you regret? And would you change something if you could? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like so that more awesome videos come out as often as possible.